You waited all day to finally lie down. Then your head touched the pillow and your mind woke up. How can the body be exhausted while the brain still thinks the day is open? All day you were tired, not just sleepy, tired in your bones. You answered messages with half a mind. You stood in the kitchen, forgetting why you walked in. You watched the clock like it was a rescue boat. Just make it to tonight. Just make it to bed. And finally, you do. You turn off the lights. You lie down. Your body drops. Your eyes close. And then, nothing. You blink at the ceiling, still awake, completely exhausted, completely awake. Why? If this happens to you, you are not strange. You are not broken. There are millions of people who spend the whole day wanting bed and the whole night wondering why bed is not working. They are not all anxious people. They are people whose day ended on the calendar, but not inside them. Because sometimes the body arrives at night before the mind does. The obvious question is, how can you be so tired and still not sleep? Because sleep is not only the absence of energy, it is also a kind of agreement. The body has to say, I am done, and the mind has to say, I am safe enough to stop. We imagine exhaustion as a switch. Enough tiredness goes in, sleep comes out. So the mystery is not why you are awake. The mystery is, which part of you still thinks the day is open? Think of yourself tonight as a house with 2 clocks. One clock belongs to the body. It notices weight and hunger and the heaviness behind your eyes. It says, we have spent what we had. Then there is the other clock, the clock of the mind. It does not measure tiredness. It measures unfinished things. The message you did not answer, the tone in someone's voice, the work you have to face tomorrow. So one clock says midnight. The other says, we are not done yet. The body is lying in bed, but the mind is still in a room from earlier. And this is where many people turn against themselves. I should be asleep by now. What is wrong with me? But imagine standing in a house where 2 clocks disagree. You would not call the house broken. You would ask which clock has not been reset. There is a particular loneliness in being tired and awake. From the outside, nothing is happening. But inside, there may be a whole city still lit. Small worries in open windows. Tomorrow waiting at the corner. The body is asking for darkness. The mind is asking for closure. And those are not the same request. Exhaustion is when the body is out of fuel. Wakefulness is when the mind still thinks something is unfinished. That is the O. You are not failing at sleep. You are running 2 clocks, and only one of them has been allowed to finish the day. Now the science. Gently, because it does not replace the feeling. It explains why the feeling makes sense. One reason is what psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect. The mind keeps returning to unfinished tasks, not because you are obsessive, because unfinished things are easier to remember. An open loop asks to be closed. During the day, noise competes with it. Emails, errands, people. In bed, there is less competition, so the unfinished thing gets the room. There is also the brain's default mode network, the part that switches on when you stop focusing outward. It wanders. Your past, your future, what things mean. That is not a mistake. It is how humans reflect. But at night, reflection becomes rehearsal, and rehearsal becomes rumination. Your circadian rhythm does not simply count how tired you are. It follows light and habit and temperature. Your body may be deeply tired, But if your alerting system is still awake, sleep can feel strangely unavailable. Stress hormones play a part too. Not dramatically, just enough to make the body feel heavy while the brain stays watchful. So you are not lying about being tired. You are tired. Tiredness is just not the only signal the brain listens to. It is also asking, is there unfinished work? Is tomorrow already pressing on tonight? And if the answer feels like yes, the mind keeps the lights on. So return to that person at the beginning, the one who waited for bed like it was a shoreline. They are lying there now, eyes open, room dark, phone face down, and still inside, something is moving. Maybe it is not a problem to defeat. Maybe it is a message, a quiet one, something like, I carried too much today without putting it anywhere. That does not fix the night, but it changes the tone. Instead of asking, why am I like this? You might say, of course my mind is still catching up. Of course the day did not vanish just because the lights went out. There is relief in that. Not the relief of fixing everything, the relief of no longer blaming yourself for being human. Tonight, if this happens, try one tiny action. Not a routine, not a system. Just this. Before you try to sleep, ask, what is still open? That is all. You do not have to solve it. You do not have to journal for 20 minutes. Just let the mind name the open thing, the email, the conversation, the decision, the worry. Because naming it tells the mind, I see what you are carrying. You do not have to keep shouting from the dark. Before you leave, ask yourself one question. What is the one thought your mind is still trying to carry tonight? If you want to know which clock is still running tonight, we built a 1-minute reflection called Find Your Open Loop. It's free, it's private, and it's made to help you see what your evening is holding on to. The link's right below.